Welcome back, guys. Let me first thank you all a lot for all the support that you're showing my channel, and we are now 1120 plus followers. So a big shout out to all of you for all the love and support. Secondly, I have already made my big announcement on the YouTube through a video, and I have also posted on Facebook. And I would like to introduce to you my book, that is Manual of Hematology, which I have written. This was inspired when I was preparing for my DM, and I have written this. These are my notes actually, which I had been making from various sources, including the WHO updated manual, the recent advances which I used to read articles on the net. All those I used to compile as a note, and some of my juniors, loved the way I had made my notes. So I had an idea, why not publish it like a book so that it can reach more students and it can benefit you all. So I just would take 5 minutes to introduce this book to you and request you to support my book. It is not very costly. It is just 225 rupees, Indian rupees, and it has been published by the Ahuja Brothers, which is based in Delhi. And the book is available on the Ahuja Brothers website. You can write Manual of Hematology, that is the name of the book, and my name, Dr. Neema Tiwari, and you will straight go to that link. Also, please support this book, and this is my sincere effort to publish something which would help the residents, the people preparing for DM, and even for clinicians who are sitting in the OPD to just go through something. Or if you're looking at a slide, so I have all the information. I have gathered everything from various sources and just compiled it into one. I have also, so this is the content that I would like to show you. It is a two-part malignant hematology book. Soon I'll be coming out with a benign hematology book. And this is part one is lymphoma, part two is leukemia. I have also taken recent treatments and recent, the recent modalities of investigation. Then there are picture plates available for both lymphoma and leukemia and both the parts. So I would like to give you a glimpse. See, I have even taken topics like introduction to lymph node, where I tell you what are the basic, when you get a slide of lymph node, what are the basic features that you should see, where you can go wrong through pitfalls by in processing or in microscopic interpretation, and what you need to do, that is the troubleshoot. Fine, I have taken the basics of lymph node, and there are a lot of charts and diagrams which will help you. You'll see the next most important point of this book is that most of the things are in points, if you see over here. Fine, let me just choose a marker for this also. You see most of the things are in points, and I have given you even here, like you see these things are given in points, so that you won't have a problem in understanding. You just need to know these 8 points, and these 8 points are enough for you to answer in a viva, or to go and diagnose a case, or to write your answer. That's it. These are the recent 8 points which are important on in the topic. I have also given you approaches, like clinical approaches, like you can see over here. I have given you trivias and caveats, which, things in bold, when you see something, they always strike you and you remember. And these are points which are asked in the exams. These are points which an examiner is going to ask you. If for clinical setup, I've given you scenarios or case presentations and then discuss the topic just like this, and then given you trivias and caveats throughout the book. Alright, and this is how I'll be patterning my benign hematology also. Then see, most of it is tables, and then again points, bulletins, just that. These are just like notes. And then there are these picture plates, images I have referenced, I have taken from the net. I have referenced everywhere what I have taken from where. So that is, I request you again to please support my book. It is not very expensive. Please share with your friends. Please buy and support me. Okay, coming to the topic, in hematology, soon we'll be ending with benign hematology and starting with malignant hematology. A lot of malignant hematology is given in the book that I have published, which I'll be discussing over here also. I've made that book on the similar pattern in which my YouTube channel works. That is to just discuss the pitfalls. I don't want to compete with the textbooks. The textbooks are the main thing. But once you have read the textbook and you need a quick revision handbook, then that is what my book is for. It has pitfalls, it has problems, it highlights what are the problem areas and how to learn, what are the answers to them. I have done everything like that. means it is modeled the way I run this channel. Alright, so let's start with the topic now. And again, a sincere request to you all to kindly share this information about my book and support my book the way you have supported my channel. I'll be really grateful. Okay, coming to the topic now. In anemia of chronic diseases, I had to take two things I've taken which are commonly asked in the exams, that is plumbism, lead poisoning, the peripheral blood finding that you'll get, and anemia of chronic disease. Okay, so quickly let's go through this. 2%, when you undergo lead poisoning, you know what are the clinical conditions and when you can have lead poisoning. Like if your pipes through which the water comes has a red paint coating on it, or children when they are playing on swings which are painted red. If you put lipstick on your child's mouth, just to, in India this is bacche ko sajana is done, the child is decked up to look pretty cute and beautiful, but all that, or you put rouge on the skin, too much rouge, all these things lead to absorption of lead through mucosal surface, because red color comes from plumbum, that is the red. Okay, and that is what leads to something known as lead poisoning, plumbism, which leads to something like a picture similar to a microcytic hypochromic anemia, but it is a differential of microcytic hypochromic anemia, but with basophilic stippling, which is commonly seen in B12 deficiency. Okay, or when the spleen is not there, splenectomy. So while I was telling you, I've told you the DDs also. So the cutoff is 2% cells, 2% cells with some history of the things I told you, like red swing, red water tap, in contamination, etc. You will get in a child, and it is very common in children. It is also common in adults where this kind of water supply thing is there. But in children, you will see it commonly when they peel off the paint and eat it, or the house is painted in cheap quality paint which is red. And females put in India, they put vermilion, sindoor lagate hain, and the sindoor which is bright red has a lot of lead in it. So all these things, too much of sindoor if you put, then even when you put that bindi, not the in India we have something called a bindi, which is adhesive, but not the adhesive one, but the kumkum thing that you put, which is not pure, it has a lot of lead in it. So long term exposure can lead to lead poisoning. So what happens is lead inhibits the ALA dehydratase, that entire pathway which leads to the bilirubin and hemoglobin formation. The ALA dehydratase, ferrochelatase, coproporphyrinogen oxidase, and PBG deaminase, impairing the hemoglobin synthesis. Okay, so these, when the hemoglobin synthesis is impaired, then incomplete chains are formed, and these stipples or these inclusions are seen in the RBCs. ठीक है, ATPase and pyrimidine 5 nucleotidase activity is also inhibited. Now why I am telling you these enzymes is because this is asked in the Viva. So please remember, porphyria में जो भी enzymes होते हैं बस उनका नाम आप ले लेना, ठीक है, you'll need to remember this. Okay, lead levels more than 75 microgram per DL in urine, it is normally less than 30, and in a 24-hour sample greater than 0.1 milligram per hour. If you assess the urine, this is done in biochemistry, leads will ascertain a cause of lead poisoning. Of course, there will be hemolysis and ineffective erythropoiesis and reticulocytopenia. Why? Because again, the body is not able to, first there will be reticulocytosis, then later on when too much of poisoning is there, body is not able to compensate, then it might lead to penia, but mostly it is hemolysis and reticulocytosis. So other causes of anemia of chronic disease can be autoimmune, can be inflammatory, can be infective, can be malignancy, and then there can be miscellaneous causes. So autoimmune can be these rheumatoid, SLE, infection, TB, bronchitis, Crohn's, HIV, cancers and lymphomas, alcoholic liver disease, all these cause. Now what happens in this case is, now plumbism is over. Alright, plumbism, just at one thing you need to remember. That is also kind of a chronic disease. So what happens over here is, that somehow the release of iron is inhibited due to a chronic inflammatory process which releases interleukins and cytokines, which either increase hepcidin, which again blocks iron output, or they will somehow affect the kidney to reduce EPO. Like if there's a chronic kidney pyelonephritis, then this can happen, or it can inhibit erythroid forming factors like CFUE. It is colony forming unit of erythroid. तीन तरीके से हो सकता है, या तो erythroid ठीक से नहीं बन रहा है, the cell is affected, that is CFUE, या फिर एरिथ्रोपोइटिन ही नहीं बन रहा है जो CFU पे एक्ट करे, या फिर जो ये केमिकल्स है वो ऐसे एक्ट कर रहे हैं कि आयरन को बाहर नहीं आने दे रहे हैं. सो स्टोरेज आयरन विल इंक्रीज. but iron is not getting utilized. So this will start initially as a normocytic normochromic anemia, and slowly, since iron is not getting utilized, पहले hypochromia आएगा, फिर microcytosis आएगा. इसको contrast करते हैं iron deficiency anemia. What happens there is that there is no iron, so that is the reason that hemoglobin बन नहीं पाया. तो first वहाँ microcytosis आती है and then hypochromia follows, because initially जो भी storage iron होता है वो release होके कोशिश करता है कि बना दे. तो जब यहाँ तो storage ही iron नहीं मिल पा रहा है, then that is why the color is going first and the size is reducing later. Okay, so moving ahead. So again, the same pathway, it is showing how each and every pathway is affected. And if you do a pearl stain on storage iron, like if you do it on liver or on bone marrow biopsies, you'll get a lot of iron. So आपको लगेगा ये माइक्रोसिटिक पिक्चर है, हाइपोक्रोमिया है, बट आयरन क्यों ज़्यादा है? इसलिए ज़्यादा है बिकॉज कोई और प्रॉब्लम है जो कि आयरन का यूटिलाइजेशन नहीं होने दे रही, हेप्सिडिन बढ़ा दे रही, इन्फ्लेमेटरी साइटोकाइंस के थ्रू. एंड देन यू सी अ पिक्चर. Fine, it is initially normocytic normochromic and then becomes hypochromic and then it will later on become microcytic also. As long जितना लंबा बीमारी चलेगा. Marrow can be hypoproliferative. In iron deficiency, it might be normocytic marrow, but here it can be hyperproliferative. Megaloblastic, it is a hyperproliferative marrow usually. ठीक है, it is normocytic to microcytic. Now you need to remember this, that erythropoietin is raised, GDF15 is raised. This is a viva question. TIBC and iron might be reduced. STFR is normal because it is not an iron deficiency, and this is the most important factor to differentiate from an IDA. Please remember in here STFR is normal. Hepcidin will be increased, EPO might be reduced or elevated. This is a functional iron deficiency, मतलब iron है. Here you can see this is pearl stain, but utilize नहीं हो पा रहा है. ठीक है. Okay, this is just a picture to show you kidney disease में EPO जाता है. So what you're going to get is all these echinocytes. This is a kind of an acanthocyte. Fine. This is another bizarre poikilocyte. So a difference between acanthocyte has an irregular spike. Echinocyte is like something like a uniformly placed spikes. And ये uremia में बहुत common होता है. Fine. You will get micronormoblast. You know these kind of cytoplasmic blebbing in marrow. You will get increased marrow stores. Here you can see, this is osteolytic activity of renal osteodystrophy. So when I tell you that look at bone marrow, I remember there's a lecture I took on bone marrow biopsies and I told you the importance of examining the cortex, the cortical bone, not the cortex but the cortical bony trabeculae. This is very important in anemia of chronic disease because you can point out to the clinician what the causes of the anemia which they are not able to understand. They might not be able to reach the cause of anemia, but if you see something like this and then you miss this, then this is wrong. You need to tell them there's some problem in the bony trabeculae. Please look for vitamin D. Then you can go for fibrosis, do reticulin staining. Also tell them to look for kidney. If there's a problem in kidney, and then they can reach a diagnosis and treat the cause of the anemia. So yes, this was a very short lecture. There can be a spectrum of chronic diseases. TB may look for a granuloma. Autoimmune may always go for autoimmune panel ANA, ENA, DCT. Okay? Then comes malignancies. You'll always go for PET, FDG, then IHC, flow cytometry, and the child will present like that. Supposing a child comes to the OPD and you can see that there's a lot of frontal bossing. The child has bony. You know that there's vitamin D deficiency. So you go for an X-ray, you will, and that vitamin D deficiency can be accompanied again with, because vitamin D now is a hormone, not a vitamin. I think all of you should know this now. So it causes a lot of inflammatory changes also in the body. So that can lead to anemia of chronic disease kind of a picture, and the child may have nutritional disease. Secondly, a child might come to with Crohn's or TB of the intestine. तो उसको altered bowel history होगा, उसकी biopsy से diagnosis बनी होगी, fine, endoscopic findings होंगे, ulcerative colitis हो सकता है, there's malabsorption leading again to anemia of chronic diseases. So each time a child comes to you in the OPD, you need to assess. First, assess the child clinically. If you feel it is nutritional, go for B12. These days we go for homocysteine levels in B12 and iron profile and ferritin. If that is low, then go for, and you treat, and it's still the child is not responding. See if it's a young child, could it be IBMF? If not, is there some other cause which is leading to that anemia? If it is a normocytic normochromic anemia with some deficiency, is there some sort of bony deformity? Is there some TB? You need to go in depth. So, as a pathologist, it is very important for you to do a clinical pathological correlation, or at least advise that give. And when I was in Sloan Memorial, I saw that the reports there had a long discussion rather than just a small impression. And the reason was they used to give their whole in the report, like they used to tell everything to the clinician what they could, think in such a case. So that is my aim when I write a report, and that is what I'll advise you when you write a report. Just write a note. It can be a para, it can be 5 points of what you think this could be and how the clinician should rule it out. Because I believe that a report should help the clinician rather than confuse the clinician. So that is where a clinical approach comes, and that is why you should always ask your clinician for the radiological and clinical findings before reporting any slide, be it histo, cyto, or HEMA. So here I would like to end. These are my references. None of the images taken were my own. There's no money involved in these lectures, and I have no conflict of interest. Again, I request you to kindly support my book, The Manual of Hematology. And please read, share, and I would love your feedbacks. On Messenger, you can tell me what more I can add to my next book, which will be on benign hematology. I would also update this book as soon as a new edition comes out of WHO, so that you all can have this small handy notes with you, which you can read before exams, before DM, before treating, before diagnosing, and that way I can be there with you even when I'm not with you through videos to help you out in your problems. So I'll see you next time, and I'll be ending with cytopathology soon and starting with histopathology then. So till then, take care and bye.